Hi everyone, we are David and Talara Cameron of Redleaf Stables in Wilberforce, Sydney. We've predominantly got a show jumping stables. We've got a property that's 42 acres, around about 40 horses live on the property, and they range from all levels from young horses, schoolmasters to then Grand Prix horses and top level show jumping horses. Both Talara and I started off our riding careers in different ways. I grew up on a farm and my family will ride into horses, so they're always sending me horses to ride. I've got a twin brother, so we're very competitive growing up, and we both competed against each other and sort of pushed each other along, and we started off in Pony Club and worked our way through the grades.
I also grew up on a farm but didn't have a horse when we lived on the farm. Dad had sort of work horses for mustering and whatnot, but none of them were appropriate for me to ride, even though I was desperate to ride. Did get myself in a few predicaments a couple of times. Luckily, I wasn't really big enough to saddle my own horse at that stage. But I didn't get my own horse until I moved to Sydney when I was 11 years old, and Dad used to follow me in the car on the way to Pony Club because you had to have a parent attend at Pony Club, even though I'm not sure they ever did a single canteen duty, so that wasn't so good on their behalf. But then I ended up working in a riding school, the Sydney Equestrian Centre, and with Kerry French sort of as my mentor, fell into eventing and teaching eventing and coaching and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, followed that all the way through. I had a really great horse called Chief Justice, and I rode him in the 5-star at Adelaide event. There's only 6 5-stars in the world, so that was a pretty cool feat to be able to achieve. After that, my horses became a little bit more show jumping focused. Eventing is pretty tough. It takes a lot of discipline and time in 3 different phases, and so yeah, that's where Dave and I met show jumping and sort of came together and built this business, and we've got a bunch of clients and whatnot that all follow show jumping, a few that still event, so we still do attend a couple of events.
And what do we do day to day, Talara? How's our regular day look?
Our regular day, well, most days start with, getting up and getting ready to ride. The sooner we start riding, the sooner the day seems to be more productive, because if you don't get up and get at it in the morning, I think you've lost precious hours in the day. So we're really lucky. We've got some really great staff, so they get the horses ready for us. They start about 7:30 in the morning, feeding and doing the yards and all that sort of caper, and they start tacking the horses up for us. Dave would ride between sort of 5 and 8 horses a day, depending on the day and what horses need to do what. I'd probably ride about 4. I think that my time is well spent a little bit more on the ground occasionally. I don't like to ride too many of the wild ones, so Dave gets them going. And so we sort of ride up until lunchtime. We try to get all of our own horses ridden in the morning and get that not out of the way, but just get it done when we're feeling really productive. And then we do some teaching and whatnot in the afternoon, and one day rolls into the next. We're a little bit stumped at the moment not having any competitions because of COVID, which is a bit sad. So we've been trying to keep everybody motivated, organising some things at home and with some of the other local stables around the place. That's about the day, really.
Sounds about right. A big part of our business is coaching. We do a lot of it. We've got a lot of students that base here. They keep the horse here, and we manage them throughout their competition schedule. Some of those students we've taught for 10 years, so it's pretty exciting to see them progress through the levels from low level, 80 centimetres through to jumping their first Grand Prix. And that's really rewarding. Talara and I were lucky enough to be the joint winners of the 2019 New South Wales Equestrian Australia Coach of the Year. It was pretty cool to win it both together and get some recognition for that coaching that we've done. We've got a few exciting things on the horizon. I went to America last year and took 2 horses, and I went and did the winter circuit over there in Florida, and this year we plan to do the same thing. With COVID, it's actually sort of pushed us to do it more because there's not a lot of shows happening in Australia currently because of the COVID situation, where in America they're still running shows. So what we plan to do is take a team of 6 horses. We leave in December and we go to Miami and then start showing in January through to March, which is going to be pretty exciting. So Talara and I will take 3 horses between us, and then we'll take 3 clients' horses. So it'd be a great experience for them to go and compete at that level over there as well.
And a big thing for the horses. Horses fly halfway around the world, and so we've got to sort of prepare and think about which horses would cope with that and which horses are going to be best for taking that sort of journey.
Yeah, you say, oh, we'll just go to Florida, but there's a lot that goes into it. A lot of packing and planning and setting up, and a lot of little things that make the whole thing work, make the horses get there
Izzy, that's
healthy.
behind the camera, will actually be doing most of the packing and planning. She loves it.
I must admit that the packing is not
the
really...
labelling.
The packing is not really my strong point.
The shopping list.
But when we've flown horses before, we always fly with the horses, just because I think it's really important to be able to get them there feeling healthy and happy, and it's a tough
and also,
thing.
you guys would all know yourselves that you get a bit of a bond with your horse, so it's nice for them when they're on the plane and they're thinking like, oh, this is all a bit out there and a bit different. To have someone that they know there is really comforting, because you get to go up and give them a pat and give them some hay and give them some water and have them sort of not feel like it's such a big deal. So that's a pretty cool thing to be able to be a part of, and I'm sure you all get to spend a lot of time with your ponies, and it's really important to build that bit of a partnership, a bit of a team feeling with them.
Oh, for sure. It's a real team sport, you and your horse. It's not just you. So it's really important to really make that a strong bond. And when you go to a big trip like that, when you're travelling, or even when it's not a big trip, even if you're just going to Pony Club competition day, the more time you spend with the horse, the happier your horse is. If it's standing beside the maybe not so much in Hong Kong, but if it's tied up the truck all day or stuck in the stable, you take it out, give it a walk, give it a bit of grass. Let it feel like it's had a chance to have a bit of a relax when it's out competing. And it's really important. And those small things are the important things that make the difference at the end of the day. And basically what Talara and I wanted to get across to you guys is we were basically just 2 kids that liked riding ponies and enjoyed our horses and want to be around them, and then we just progressed through the levels, and for sure it was a lot of hard work and a lot of sacrifice. You do miss out on doing some things, but now we've got a business that we get to enjoy playing with our horses all day, and watching our students develop and compete at the highest level. Next part of
So on that, make sure that you dream big. Like I really wanted a horse. I was desperate for a horse. I begged my parents for a horse every week. And when my parents finally turned around and said, okay, we'll get you a horse, I pulled straight out of my pocket this number that I'd taken off the chipboard at the local Horseland store in an ad that I'd seen. And sure enough, that ended up being the horse that I ended up buying. I actually fell off it twice, the 2 times that I went to try it. But the first time when I fell off, it had just tripped and I fell on its neck, and then I fell on the ground in front of it, and it didn't run over the top of me. It stopped and sort of just looked down at me as if to say, what are you doing down there, tiny person? And straight away my dad was like, oh, good horse, didn't run over her. So you never ever know what's going to happen, and if you're passionate about it and you work hard and you beg if you need to, then you sort of never know where that might end you up. But here we are. I own a bunch of horses, and it all started from that one horse on the clipboard. So,
and that's right. Like, one thing about equestrian riding is, one thing that's guaranteed is you're going to fall off and you're going to make mistakes, and it's not going to be a really straight, clear path to success. But
I couldn't even tell you how many times I've fallen off. Not recently, but over the years.
If you keep getting back on and working and trying hard, you'll get the rewards. The next part of this video will be the live section, which I plan to introduce you to some of our horses and tell them about what they're going to do and what their plans are for the future, and hopefully that'll give you a bit of insight to what we do and the horses that we have in our team.